Here is my warning to South Africans and South Africa. If you're not careful, history will repeat itself on you. The history that us Africa are already seeing that it happened in Egypt. What do I mean by that? Please pay attention. This is just a talk. So listen, pay attention, humble your hearts, and hear the point I'm making. Think about it. You realize I'm doing nothing but doing you a favor in this warning. There was a time our forefathers, our ancestors in Egypt were at the peak of their development. They had it all. The pharaohs, you know what I mean? And it attracted people of different races to come and settle there. So they came, made good relationships, trade. I'm talking about what we call in today's terms investors. They came and invested. The Arabs, they came from the Middle East, they're traders. So they came, they settled there, they invested. It was all trade. It started with all trade. And then they started making settlements, like that. And then it went forth to living intermarriages, yes, and started having half-caste children who now became part inheritance of the Egyptian wealth and land. History will repeat itself. So what you must know is that Arabs have always had the move to extend their territory from the Middle East into Africa. Okay? And they are strategic about it. It's something they pass it on to generations and generations. These people are generational. Even their wealth is passed to generations and generations. So this thought too is generational. They pass it on. They tell them, we are taking Africa. Just like they've already done, they've managed to do that. So far, half of the land of Africa, from the North Africa coming down to Central Africa, is Arabic states. They did that. But this is how it started. Let's get back to the point. This is how it started. So they traded there, started settling there, and then years later, now they claim that Egypt is their land and the pharaohs were their ancestors. Even having DNA tests for the mummified bodies, some of them with some paid archaeologists really published that it was Arabic DNA. I wonder since when they started mummifying bodies, because we know the Arabic people are Muslims and they don't do this. Muslims bury their dead right after dead same day, and not even in caskets, not even mummifying them. So a lot of questions there to tell you that our legacy is being taken, and you wonder if it was really their land, why would they be selling the treasure they find there, finding archaeologists to take it out? It's almost like they've come to rob us, because if it was indeed theirs, they would have been proud of their inheritance and keep it on their land and not auction the artifacts and the antiquities to other countries on auction and have archaeologists come and excavate things. They could have been proud that it is their inheritance, but because they know it's just a matter of time, and just like robbery, when you come to take things, you take them out, you dig them out and go sell them. It's almost like robbery happening right now. But it started with a mistake of having people that came in the name of trade, investors. They came and seemed to be doing the country a favor. They were bringing trade, it was business. But the Arabs have always had the motive of taking over Africa. So how did they manage to do that? Most of them these are polygamous people. So they multiplied at a rapid pace compared to us, the people of native people of Africa, rapidly multiplied, and eventually outdid the population of us, the natives. Right now, say 90% of Egypt. Them, 90%. But not only Egypt, it spread to the rest of the other African lands because they multiply so rapidly, because they decided to use polygamy as their tool for multiplying quicker. They've done that, and they've really spread to take half of the land of Africa, the most productive land of Africa, agriculture-wise, the northern part, occupied by them now and fighting over history that it is their land and the history is theirs. So these are still Arabs who pass on generation knowledge, generation motives, and wealth. So you must know that this never stopped. Now it is your turn, Africa. South Africa, I mean. You're the ones now on top of your game, economy and whatsoever in Africa, feeling all that, and they've come with the same song to make you dance to what they did to our ancestors. Make you dance, make you feel good, pamper you enough, and make you feel this is it, these are the people. That's how the pharaohs felt. They felt the same way. They felt they were top of the game, and these people have come, let's do business. Investors, traders. Did they know what was coming? Nope. Generations later, it's us, their descendants of the pharaohs, that are crying foul to what they played our ancestors to. They played them in trade, they played them in business as investors. Now we've lost half to their occupancy. They've occupied that land, and they're excavating our fun, our inheritance, our treasure, saying it is theirs, and they've occupied half the land of Africa. Now they've come for you, South Africa, because you're top of your game. They've come with the same song. It's trade, and everything. And I don't know what to say, but you guys don't seem to see this. You don't seem to look back to the history I'm pointing at, or to learn from that, and you feel, yes, this is it. So what you should remember is that they know they are not your people. They are here but for one aim, that their ancestors told them, take over this land. The same way they came into Africa, the same way it's going on. So yeah, they're doing the same thing right now. They're there, and they'll give you anything they have to. They can give you anything, any money you want, anything. Yeah, they will. They have generation wealth, and they're still making oil money. So they'll do all those things and excite you and but wait for it. If you don't learn from the history we are crying foul to here in Africa, wait for it. It'll be your turn, because they come like that, the way Egypt was at its peak. Now in our generation, it's you who is on the peak of economy in Africa, and they've come for you. They've come for you. Those attempts you heard recently of people wanting the other part of Africa, South Africa, to be a white state, that should just show you that there are these things being discussed, these things being planned. It is just one of those things that spill to show you that there's something being cooked in your land. There are people that want to take it. Do you think the people that did apartheid just gave it up like that? No. They were like, no, for a few years, let them enjoy. Let's stem off the pressure. Let them feel they've taken over from us and there's no more apartheid and things like that. But trust me, the world right now, this new world order they want to do, they're looking at taking again. They want to take again everything they feel they lost to those changes that happened recently to give independence. And colonialists seem like they took their hands off the lands they possessed. But trust me, they're coming with the new one. There's of course the normal one, which the new one, the modern one, which is happening pretty much like a loose grip. But of course, it's cooking bigger things, because they're planning the future of our continent and how they're going to represent it. Because most of these other races, they fight for Africa. They're fighting for Africa. Everybody wants part of Africa. To the point they come up with these new narratives of saying all mankind originated from Africa, and whatsoever, Africa is home of all mankind, which is not true. We know that it's not true. It's a way of us, of wanting to make us say, oh yeah, this is your home too, guys, come back home. And they should have the courage to come and say, yes, all of us originated here, so this is our home too, because they're fighting for Africa and they want it, and they come up with such narratives. And you can be naive and vulnerable enough to just say, oh yes, it's true, all originated from Africa, yes. That's how they think foolish who we are. They just accept whatever they come up with from out there. Most of the things we believe in are the things they come up with, not things we know from our own wisdom. So, and be foolish enough to give in while you're dancing to their tune. Before you know it, they'll flip things and you may become the next Egypt, victimized by the people you show kindness and mercy to, because it's the same people. They are the sons of the same fathers who have taken over Egypt and most of the African land to occupy it now as they have occupied it. The same people, and they talk and they tell each other, how is it going in South Africa? Oh, we're doing well. What are you lacking that we should bring so you can really accomplish the mission? You just leave, you wake up and you live in your land, but you don't know what your friends discuss when they meet, or at night while you sleep after South Africa. You don't know. They don't come there for nothing. They're up to something, because they're fighting for Africa and they want these resources we have. They have plans for them. We are the future, eh? So yeah, it will be this Amapiano generation and their children and their children's children who cry to the foul you, the fathers in South Africa, are committing now by wanting the benefit for yourselves, accommodating people in the way that is not well guided and controlled. When they take over that land, it will either bring you back into apartheid, because I know that will happen, and it will if you're not careful, or else make you the new Egypt, repeating history because of not learning from the mistakes our forefathers made. So watch out, be careful, have your eyes open. Don't just dance on my piano for nothing. Be alerted and be alert. What I can warn you is that the new Sarafina will not be televised. That is, Sarafina too will not be televised. And they know now that you, South Africa, do not have good relationships with most of your African brothers and sisters. You're pretty much feeling you can be on your own, and they are fueling that because they want you to be on your own so that nobody comes to your rescue, like many other African countries came to fight apartheid with you and for you. This time they've made your relationships are bad with most African countries. Most of the African countries are not talking good about you, others even cutting long time ties with you, and you feel, yeah, you can do without you. To them, their prayers are being answered, that you're becoming that vulnerable, so that when they just flip and take you down, you don't have anyone coming to your rescue. So to them, it's something they're celebrating, that their prayers are being answered. You're becoming that vulnerable that they can easily take you. And once they take you, South Africa, the northern part of Africa is already occupied. Half of the land is occupied by Arabs. The next thing, they will just populate themselves more into the rest of Africa. So become strangers in our own land, vulnerable, and in our own native land, they can take it. It happens. We've seen that in other continents, in other countries. Yeah, of course, other continents, and which are nations and countries now that the native people were displaced and the land taken over by other people that came. It happens, and that's how the world works. So that's just a warning to you. The rest is up to you. Thank you so much.